Hello, YouTubeazonians. Been a while since I made a video. Wow. Anyways, today I got this little, actually it's a big 50mm lens. It's a Pentax SMC 50mm f1.2. This is the fastest lens Pentax ever made. And this copy is, I believe, a 1975. And feels like it's made out of lead. I mean, this thing's super heavy. This is the biggest 50 they make too. I mean, it's bigger than the 85mm lens. We're about the same size maybe, but this is a normal regular 50mm 1.4, and the 1.2 is like almost twice as big and like 3 times as heavy. I mean, this sucker feels like it's made out of lead. Anyways, this is a pretty cool lens, and I had to take it all apart and clean it, of course, and it was a little difficult to get back together, but let me see if I can get you a close-up on it. There we go, it's focusing now. I mean, this thing is a pristine piece of glass. The optics are superb. It's got a little wear on the barrel on it, but other than that, I mean, this thing is pretty darn clean looking, good shape. I mean, look at how wide that element is. And it's crystal clear. And I took some pictures with it to show you. The background blur is amazing at f1.2 I mean, but it is very difficult to shoot with at f1.2. And there's a lot of, I mean, if you're trying to use it like a macro lens, you get a lot of chromatic aberration and fringing and stuff. But if you get a good distance, you know, maybe about that far, it's not too bad. But I mean, I've tried everything and I just can't get rid of the fringing at shooting it wide open unless I'm shooting it a good distance away. But if you stop it down to like f2 or f2.8, this thing gets razor sharp. This is a good lens. I mean, this is one of my favorite 50s. And let's look at some pictures. Alright, I took 5 pictures to show you. And I took these with my Canon 80D, which I have the camera fixed on custom settings, so I kind of got the contrast and saturation turned up in my camera, so they come out of the camera almost like this. This is the first one, so I don't have to do much editing. But all 5 of these photos I did tweak a little bit in Photo Raw, on Photo Raw. But the way I got the 80D set up is they almost come out of the camera looking like this. This one I darkened up a little bit, I do believe. But anyways, this was shot at f1.2 wide open, and it almost looks like a painting. I mean, this is amazing. But if you zoom in a little bit, you'll see the chromatic aberration a little bit. I guess this one isn't too bad because I had some distance. There's a bunch of distance between me and this plant. But like if I was 1.5 feet, 2 feet away from this plant, around the edges of these leaves it'd have some color fringing on it for sure. But this one turned out about perfect. So this lens is pretty good shooting. You gotta really learn this lens to use it, because it's a pretty difficult lens. But anyways, that's that one. Then this one turned out pretty awesome. I mean, just look at the color and the blur in the background and the separation of the depth of field. Gives it a 3D effect. This lens is unfriggin' believable. And if you zoom in a little bit, you can see the little fringing around here a little bit. The blue fringing. Definitely see it there. But looking at it normally, you can just barely see it, but you really got a pixel peep to see it. So if I would have stopped this down to, say, f1.8 or f2, a lot of this blur would look a little different. But that fringing would be almost gone. But, I mean, I don't mind it. You really got a pixel peep to see it, but look at the effects this lens has. It's just unbelievable. That picture there, I actually had to expose for the bear, and this was all blown out. So what I actually had to do in On1 Photo Raw is make a mask for the bear, and then bring the exposure down in the background, and that's what I had. I mean, this was all white. Almost all white. You could see a little bit of color in the background. But when I made the mask and brought the exposure down in the background, this is the result. I mean, totally freaking amazing. And to think I was going to delete this picture. But you can see there's a little blue fringe in there. I could probably fix that too in lens correction. But On1 nor Lightroom recognizes this lens. But I could do it manually. I could probably fix it manually. I just ain't spent the time to do it. This picture here, I stopped the lens down to f2.8 and took this picture of my old Iron Horse Sportster. I mean, this picture turned out quite amazing. I'm gonna have to fire this thing up, take it for a ride, and blow the cobwebs off it. But I was focusing right here. I mean, this picture turned out pretty darn sharp at f2.8. Because I was focusing about right in this area. I mean, beautiful effects. Great lens. Last but not least, this picture of my wood pile. That almost looks like a painting in the background. But, I mean, this lens has a lot of pop, a lot of 3D pop to it. I mean, look at the separation of the foreground and background. I mean, the contrast and colors are just amazing. Well, there's the 5 pictures for you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.